Cornucopias is a cutting-edge open-world MMO set in a world where humanity has ascended from the Earth's surface and created a breathtaking new world in the sky. This fantastical realm is a system of floating islands carved from the land we once called home, now encased in radically advanced dome-shaped structures suspended high above the clouds. Each one is a futuristic marvel with its own unique environment, identity, and thriving communities. It is within these domes the epic journey begins. Here, players take control of their own personal avatar, which gives them the freedom to choose their destiny. Be immersed in vast landscapes, explore vibrant settlements, and engage in a myriad of activities such as crafting, commerce, combat, racing, and more. Welcome to a world where the sky is no longer the limit.
Hey everybody, welcome to COPICafe, episode 130. This is Rob Gregg here with Josh Jones, and we're here to tell you what's going on with Cornucopias, a little more detail on the new build. We got several fun topics coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about the land grab, the long-awaited land grab, apartments sale, and the building tool that we've got coming, Rumble Ball, Arrow Trails, some new items added to the current release that's coming out, and some updates on that, and then some questions and a leak. So, are you ready, Rob?
Let's get this going. I'm ready. Yeah, it's been a while. We're in crunch mode now. Everybody is absolutely under the cosh.
Yes, and with Avatar 3.0 and everything that's coming in this release, it's added a lot of complexity. Which is interesting because, I could get into that later, but the complexity that's added has freed up some other teams to work on things like Rumble Ball and Arrow Trails, while the others were bottlenecked because it was just like, hey, let's keep this going. Let's do some other, items, which is great. You can't always do that. But yeah, the complexity of this build has been huge. Anyway, it's coming very, 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 very soon. I'm excited. Rob, what are you drinking?
Well, today I'm just having Pure Life. Aqua.
Just pure
H2O,
life.
water. Yeah.
Kind of hoping you just act like you were drinking air or something.
We're having a heat wave in the UK, so it's like 30 degrees, which is kind of like, Texas in the morning. but for us, we don't have air conditioning. We're all melting. So I'm on water.
Yeah.
What do you
your degree system always throws me off. I have to do actual conversions. It's not like a 50 degree. There's like a formula for it. I'm having a body armor. Body armor light.
Wow.
Might be a hint of things to come in Cornucopias.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you wearing an Under Armour top as well?
An Under Armour what?
Top?
Nope. Actually, the top I'm wearing is from ETH Denver this year.
Ooh. A whale.
Spork. It's a spork.
I'm just wearing dun Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's funny because I sent you the picture of my
it was cool.
Office. Huh? Yeah.
I liked that very much.
Yeah. It's good stuff. All right. Well, let's kick it off. We got a lot of people, ourselves included, very, very excited about getting this land grab done. And we've had quite a few meetings on it in the past 3 weeks. I think we're looking pretty positive to move forward with the algorithm that we've selected.
Yep.
So development is well underway, and we should not be too far off with the land grab. So that's exciting. And then also, in addition, we've announced this a couple COPICafes ago, but that you'll be able to move your land now, and that's still part of the plan. So it gives you more flexibility in determining what's your strategy going to be for selecting land, knowing that you're not permanently established there and then have to sell it to move or whatever, which is a good thing. I think it's going to create some fun strategy within the game. Doesn't mean you can, again, just a reminder, doesn't mean you can move it anytime you want. There's going to be restrictions within a certain season because we've got to have balance in the game. But yeah, I think it's very exciting. So yeah, Rob, do you want to tell us a little about the
Yeah, I mean, I think
algorithm?
just going on that, I think the community received that news quite well. They're quite excited about that. The fact that
Yeah,
you can reuse your NFT, choose a different land plot, maybe later on put it in Esperanza in Fortune. I think they're quite happy about that. We also talked about the governing NFT, and we're having we're we're reassessing that. We'll just say that we're not completely 100% landed on that.
yeah,
We're still looking at that.
yeah. That's going to take a significant, most likely a very significant different direction. However, the
Yeah,
essence of the idea will will remain, which is the collaborative effort that can take place to improve a certain town or area. We're
yeah.
trying to figure out how to do that in a way that it's not giving some one person a bunch of power or whatever. And how do we do that in a way that still creates a collaborative effort? And
Yeah.
that was kind of the spirit behind that. So
And that's why we open up the talks in Discord. So so we definitely read them all, and we
mhm.
are responding to it.
Yeah, and that is another argument that is just great for building with your community. You
Mhm.
know, having that feedback loop.
Yep.
It's great because you hear, you know, you can't. We we kind of had some of those concerns in advance that the community had, and thought we had worked out a good way of alleviating some of that. But you never know how something's going to hit somebody. People
Yeah.
have. Strong reactions sometimes to certain things. So it's good to have the general feedback loop. It's a huge benefit that we have over other MMOs or other
Yeah.
games that are building in the dark for 5 to 8 years.
Yeah. It's good to have a hive mind.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
the busy
Collective
bees.
intelligence.
Yeah.
Collective intelligence is a good thing. Okay. So you want to tell us a little about the land algo,
Yes.
how it's going to work?
So yeah, a few more details then. So we already know that the rarity is going to play a big part of this. So what we are planning is all the land plots will be given a slot to grab them, and we will publish this slot in advance, and then people will be able to take their NFTs and allocate them to a particular land plot and say this is the land plot that I like, but they can also put that NFT on multiple land plots if you want to. So we will go through the land plots one by one, and then the algorithm will say, is there any mythics that want this particular land plot? If there's only one mythic, that mythic will get that land plot. If there's a couple of mythics, it will do a random choice. One of those mythics will win. If there's no mythics, the same will happen with legendary. Is the one legendary? Is the multiple legendary? And so on, all the way for common. And this will happen for every single land plot, one by one. You will be able to pre-select them in advance. So we think they'll probably run, we think it's going to be every 75 seconds. So
Right around there. We're still going to play
yeah.
with the timing. Don't hold us to that, but that's our current estimate. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go through there, and then that will take. Do we say that'll take a couple of days? Will it?
I think
Maybe
that was a couple of weeks.
it'll take a week or so.
So if we're doing 24,000 properties times, let's just say 60 seconds for ease right now.
Be quick.
Times.
And then at the end of that, any land plots that are not claimed, we'll let you know what we're going to do with those. Whether we're going to rerun the event again, or whether they'll be claimable in the future, or whether we'll let them be claimed immediately. So we've not quite landed on that yet, but it'll be good to have your feedback, what you think. But like I say, you can use the same NFT or multiple as soon as it's claimed, it's then removed. So it's then not on a future one. But if it's not claimed, then it goes on another. And the order is just random. It just is what it is.
And the fun thing about this is it's going to end up being right around 2 weeks.
Okay.
That's what we want it to end up being, because this is a fun, marketable event.
Mhm.
It's a big deal. We've been waiting a long time for this. We know how much you guys are excited about this. We are incredibly excited about this. So many of you out there hold NFTs and you're ready to determine where your land's going to go, and that's fun and exciting. And so it creates a marketable event over a 2 week period, which is great because you guys can share your properties with the community, what you got. Hey, I just won this one, and all of that. And that'll just create excitement and draw more people into what are we doing? Because look, I don't know if it's ever been done before in this way, but it's definitely not been done before with this quality of graphics and experience where you get a property and you're the only holder of that property, in a beautiful environment. And I think that is powerful. So it's a powerful advantage over so many, pretty much all mainstream games. That's a great benefit there. And then there's a few crypto projects that have done land sales and things of that nature. Some mainstream games have done land sales, but it's been more like, they allow 500 people or 10,000 on a property or unlimited on a property.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's yours,
I mean, none of they all face the same problem. What if somebody loses the wallet? What if somebody stops playing the game? People are going to be building up their towns and districts, and then who knows where they're going to be in a couple of years from now. So that's why we're introducing the ability to move your land and for those lands to time out if people are not active.
Yep.
But I think some of those other projects that they may struggle. But
it's a great solution.
But that's how we're tackling it.
Incredibly innovative. And by the way, so you can move your land from zones 1 to 2 to 3, but each zone will zone 4 to 5 to 6 will not be able to move to 1, 2, and 3, and vice versa. So, for example, if you pick a property in Solace, you can definitely move that to Esperanza or Fortune, but you would not be able to move it to the 4th zone that comes out.
Yeah, and the NFT says zones 1 to 3 on them.
Exactly.
So that's another part of it. We've looked into, right, should we do an NFT swap? Should we hard code it? But no, it's all going to happen in the database. So that switch is absolutely immediate. So that land, but I suppose we do reserve the right in the future if we think it is right that we should maybe change it to a different type of SIP NFT, and we want to do a swap. We can always do that in the future, but by the moment, this is the way the process is going to work. It's the easiest. There's no fees involved. It's instant, and we will see how it goes if there is interest in swapping and moving.
Agreed. Okay, so that pretty much covers the land grab. Hope you guys are excited as we are about that. We want to couple that ideally, and it may not be perfect timing wise, but the apartments, and so we're working on the builder tool that will work on land and will also work in apartments as well. Yep. And so we have that release coming up, not in this current one. It's not coming up in short amount of time, but it's not too far away, where we're going to release the ability to customize and build your own apartment, and everybody gets a free apartment. But there will also be premium apartments that you can acquire if you want to have something larger, or you want to personalize your space a little bit more, you want to bling it out, whatever it is. There will be premium apartments, and that sale will exist right around the same time as the land grab. They're going to be fairly close together, because what we want to do is just create as much synergy around something new that's coming with Cornucopias as we can, and really draw some eyeballs. And so hopefully you guys, our community, will help us out with that, because we want to get synergy around what's happening in Cornucopias, because these are big releases. This is going to be huge. Now you can personalize your avatar with, coming very, very soon with Avatar 3.0. It is insanely good. You saw the images David sent over last night, right? Wow. Oh my gosh. The new Avatar creator is just, it's state of the art.
I think that should be our leak.
It's a good idea. That can definitely be our leak. So Let's do that. That's a good leak. So that is incredibly powerful. So you can customize who you are in the world of Cornucopias, and then you'll be able to buy the outfits you want or earn the outfits you want, whatever it may be. And then you can customize your apartment, your living space, and your land as well. Customizations on land are a little bit different. We have to minimize that somewhat because we've got performance. There's 24,000 properties in a huge 8 kilometer dome that's loaded up into one instance. So that is incredibly well, not one instance, but that's coming from, that's one load, right? So that's a huge amount of data in there with 24,000 plots and the customization. So that'll be somewhat limited, but still you'll be able to customize your land, customize your apartment, and customize your avatar. That's pretty huge. It's
Yeah,
exciting,
and
gameplay wise.
obviously the technology at the moment means we still have a limited amount of players that can kind of go into one server session. So there might be 100, 150, maybe 200 players, but we'll have multiple sessions. But the important part about that is each land plot will be drawn straight from the database. So no matter which server you're on, if you own a land plot, everybody will see your land plot. It won't be owned by anybody else. That point in that game is personal to you. And I think that's important. That's where games go differently. Some games have like maybe a European server and an American server, and all the games are completely different, but it's just kind of same layout. Ours are not. Everything is the same across the board, no matter what the servers are. And in the future, when Unreal Engine 6 comes out, and they have the ability to have 100,000 people built in as native, we'll be going there. So we'll need less servers ourselves. So the Unreal Engine has an exciting future, which we were looking at creating our own technology in that space, but now it's better to have something native out of the box. And I
Is there a
suppose,
projected date on 6
I mean,
next year?
it'll probably go into early preview maybe in 2 years, with a launch
Oh,
date of
2 years.
maybe 3 years, or maybe 4 years. You don't really know, but
Because then a 5 was huge, and that one took a lot longer than usual.
yeah.
But they weren't all that long.
And then you get the early updates. But yeah, going from 100, say, traditional server that we've had for I don't know how many years, 20, 30 years, or whatever has been the industry standard, to 100,000. It's a pretty big leap. So yeah, that will be enormous. But on
That's
that, we do kind of have an announcement, because we have been looking at launching with the Unreal Engine 5. Well, originally it was going to be 5.4. Then we had to upgrade to 5.5. 5.5 had a little bit of a material update issue with it. So we're now actually going to launch this next build on Unreal Engine 5.6, which is the latest. There is not going to be many projects that have a working, really performant build as well, running at between 60
oh yeah.
and 160 frames per second,
Well,
depending on your setup.
it improved performance significantly, but then also David this week went
Yeah.
in and did a massive audit on performance
He
and
had to go
improved
through
it
thousands and thousands of textures.
a ton. So our low end is going to
Yeah.
improve. Low end cards are
Yeah.
improving significantly. So we'd love to hear your feedback when this next build release comes out. If you're on a lower end card or whatever, how's the performance now versus what it was before? Because it should improve significantly. But back before we get into the next release, the apartment sale is coming around the same time as the land grab. We've also got the phase 3 sale that has not yet happened. That's supposed to happen right around time of this release, because we want you to be able to get in there and have fun with those assets. So that's when that final, there's not many more assets coming in phase 3, but there's a few guns and some fun stuff there. But then shortly after that is going to be the apartment sale and the building tool and the land grab. Timing of that is not exact, but we'll keep you in the loop on it. And so there's just a little bit of information for you on what's coming soon. And then now let's just swap back over to this release. Rob talked a little bit about 5.6.
Yep.
That's a huge win for us. It solved a bug. It solved performance issues. quite a bit. And the Avatar 3.0 is looking phenomenal. It puts us in a very, very small group of MMOs or games that have even attempted this in the first place, but then an even smaller group that have actually produced one that works and at this level of quality. So very, very exciting. And we're going to do a contest around the Avatar creator with some prizes, etc., and ideally get some different communities participating, maybe like Neo Tokyo, Superverse, some of our partner projects, whatever it may be. We'll get some other participation as well in that contest. Be fun.
Should we do our leak? Should we have an early leak while we talk about the Avatar creator?
Yeah, if you're ready to pop it up since it's relevant, let's go ahead and throw that up there.
I have it here. So this is Penny, our preset Avatar Penny, a before and after. That's how she used to look.
Was that Avatar 1.0, I assume, on the left?
Yeah, it's the very early days. And this is how she currently looks. She may still get a few more touch-ups before the release. But yeah, she uses a lot less bronzer. And
skin tone improvements, jaw structure, eye socket improvements, facial structures more realistic. The underlying like bone structure is definitely improved. The skin texture, wow, so many differences. The eye size is significantly improved, like the sizing of things relative to one another. And I know you can get in there and mess that up somewhat, but for the most part, the underlying structures and it's massive improvements.
Yeah, so it's an incredible transformation, and also the Avatar movement from that version of Penny or what people are playing now to what you will see on and play within the release is the same. It's chalk and cheese. It is so different. It plays like a different game. It looks like a different game, but it's
so when this release comes out, polish up on your avatar builder skills, because there will be a fun contest that's launching along with that, and you'll be able to earn some Copi. So be fun.
Ooh, there's another leak.
If you win. All right. So anything further on this release? The Aero Trails?
Aero Trails, yeah. We did say that there's going to be another Aero Trail. So there is going to be another one and another one and another one. So all three Solaces now have an Aero Trails course alongside Kalido. Kalido has been slightly extended by maybe a little 3 or 4 more. Not much. But there's new Aero Trails now in Solace 1, 2, and 3, and they're all completely different. One of them goes down a mountain and round, another one wraps around the mountain, and then the other one is kind of more level based. But the idea is you really get to go round those different Solaces, and I think they're quite exciting.
And they're not going to be always where they're fully present and visible 100% of the time. It's going to be something where when you're out in Solace and out in nature, that you can go up and turn on a console and run their Aero Trails.
Yeah. I spoke to that with David yesterday. So in this current build, everything's fixed, but in the future, we're thinking of a system that like you say, is going to come out and open up. But instead of being and kind of almost like a circle, it's going to be almost like a V. Because I know that some people hit the roofs of them. So now they'll be easier to go through, and they'll fold up and they'll come back in. But that's in the future. But yeah, we're going to try and preserve the beauty of the land as much as we can.
Yeah, that keeps the natural look there, but still provides the additional entertainment and mini game that can be fun. So
those will come with leaderboards as well. So we'll have 4 leaderboards. So we'll have future competitions for those in the future. So lots and lots more gameplay there. There'll also be mines that are that you can go and explore in the different solaces. We don't have mining in there yet, but we are working really hard on crafting. So that system, if not in the following build, hopefully in the one after,
Well,
that is looking
mines
really
will
good.
be in this current
You
build
will
that's
be able
coming
to
up.
go in the
Yeah,
mines. Yes,
yeah,
you'll be definitely be able to go in the mines.
yeah. It'll be an early stage of going into the mines,
Yeah.
exploring stuff like that, which will be fun. And as with anything, we'll start small and then we build it up over time,
Yep.
which is great. And same with combat. You're gonna have combat. There's also rumble ball improvements.
Yes. So
So
Rumble Ball
that's
again,
fun.
we're calling it Rumble Ball 2.0. It's completely different again. We now have obviously the new character movements, but
Hmm.
what you'll be able to do now is the ball's slightly bigger. You'll be able to now dribble with the ball. You'll be able to shoot. You'll be able to pass, and you'll be able to what we call lob the ball. I don't know if you call it chip the ball or high pass. So that's got a lot more playability in that as well. And we also have the ability now in real time with the mod menus to do all kinds of fun with it. So we can have multiple balls, we can change the weight of it, the size of it. So in the future, Copy Ball, no doubt, will have various one-off little events where people come in. So more gameplay around that. Like
Yep.
you just talked about with combat, when you go into the Kalido in Kalido Pavilion, that's got a lot bigger. Now we did a watch party the other week. Those that got to see it, we had one in Europe and one kind of like in Americas, and so the pavilion itself has got slightly bigger. There's more shops around there to go and explore. But then when you go outside in kind of like the pavilion, I don't know what that area would call it, but that's where we're looking at what we're calling a glimpse of Esperanza. So it's like a foyer kind of place.
Hmm.
There's a gun shop in there. You can go in the gun shop with your in-game currency. You can get some bullets, different ammunition for the different types of weapons. You can then come down to the shooting range and you can shoot the various kind of like flats that come up and shoot them and get a good feel, good like practice level. There's two what we're calling terror tunnels in there, so it's kind of like a parkour running through, and these things will pop up, and it's very atmospheric. You'll also get to see some of the creatures that are actually going to be active in the following build, running
Hmm.
around in Solace. So there's a few like we did with the Quantum Bear. There's at least one of them that I've seen. That there may be a couple just kind of there on show. So you'll get up close and personal and see the size of them and what you're going to be fighting in the future. So tons and tons of gameplay there. You can then go at the back of that shooting range where the glimpse of Esperanza is. So what we mean by that is all the artwork that we're building in Esperanza. So we're currently on track to build Esperanza 1, 2, and 3. Those build outs are going really, really well. All of those are 8 kilometers by 8 kilometers. So you'll be able to go at the back of there and explore around there. There'll be some more gameplay there. You'll also be able to see some of the racing tracks because that's what the pavilion is. The pavilion is the racing level. So that whole map has expanded. There's also lots more detail as well in the landing bay within Kalido.
Hmm.
So go and explore there. There's more shops there. There's what I call a Shushi ornament there, Shushi statue. You probably don't know what it is because I don't think you've seen the Shushi
I don't know
statue.
what a shushi statue is.
Yeah, we'll have to leak that in another episode, or people will discover it. But yeah, we got a
Is
Shushi
that a
thing.
UK thing?
Don't tell
Shush.
any. Don't tell
Oh,
any.
oh, okay. Shushi. I got you.
Don't tell it.
Gotcha. Okay. Very, very good. Yeah, it's a huge build and coming very soon. We're not too far off. Wow, we've had to get through a lot of hurdles to get this one out.
Yeah,
Goodness gracious.
I mean,
The cool
there's a
thing
lot.
is that again, we've been able to add some things to Rumble Ball and we built in parallel as well on the next build where things that are coming with the Rift and stuff. So we
Yeah,
pull from different teams, and if there's a bottleneck in one area, it creates opportunities in other areas while the bottleneck's getting resolved. And so we move things forward in parallel. And sometimes you got to pull all hands on deck. It just depends on what the issue is. But I'm super excited about this build.
It's been a huge build. I mean, we've put a lot into this, and we've also had some of the issues that we've had with the engine itself. But we've resolved all those now. We're on the on the absolute last mile now. We've improved performance. We've added a few more extra features in there. Like you say, we're still working on crafting, mining, apartment building, and the combat. All those are working in parallel. It's been a really, really productive few months.
Yeah, and the things
the
that are
corn train
coming
doesn't
in the
stop.
next builds after this one, the things that are coming put us in a place of getting more aggressive with mainstream marketing.
Yeah.
Getting a listing on Steam, getting a listing on Epic, and really getting ourselves out there, because now we're very soon going to be at a place where we can call ourselves alpha. And I don't know when this year that will occur, but definitely with these next few builds, we're getting more aggressive with going after mainstream. And that is a powerful, powerful thing to be able to do, because 95% of the MMOs out there that start and launch and build, they don't ever even make it to this point. And even fewer make it to the point where it's marketable as well. So like having a game that's live and marketable, I think it's 95% fall off before that occurs. And the beauty of that is, with those, a lot of those, that's a mainstream stat. They haven't had a community along with them for the entire way, so they're lacking the ability to have a good amount of feedback. Whereas we have had the community the entire way, and we've got a lot of new systems and feedback loops and things like that, and testing and improvement in place as a result, which is a huge, huge bonus for us. So when we're live now. When we get it to the place where there's enough content that it's marketable to mainstream, man, that's a huge hurdle that we've overcome. It puts us in a small few that make it to that point.
It's going to be exciting. I mean, we can't obviously give any dates when the build's going live, but I mean, there's going to be fireworks going off when this build goes live.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So, okay, I think that brings us a good point to transition to our questions, and then we'll wrap it up. So I think you've got a question for me first, and then the remaining are for you.
Oh, do I? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me quickly find them. Okay, this one is from Norton S24. Wants to know, could we get an update on partners, Jira Wallet, Dega, Drip Drop, Singularity, Noom, and whoever else I might be missing? Looks like the wiki could use an update. Yeah, probably.
It's a great question.
Yeah,
Jira Wallet, not much happening with that partnership. They changed ownership, but we're talking about names from long ago. And you know what's great about this, though, is a good amount of these names still remain as builders. So we've chosen well with who we did partner with. So Jira Wallet's still in existence, but we haven't really talked to them since the change in ownership. Dega, they are still building as well, and they've spun their model a little bit. They're doing some AI agents, and we're talking to them about doing a little test with that very, very soon, which is cool.
We have a meeting with Carlos nearly every week, don't we?
Yeah, nearly every week, every other week. Drip Drops, we're still talking to. Obviously, we work with them for some of the rewards and things like that, but they're a long-standing partner, great friends, and we'll always work with them. And we love what they're doing, and we support what they're doing as well. They're important to the ecosystem in Cardano and also to us. So Singularity, haven't talked to them for a while. That we were talking about doing getting their, what's the name of their AI robot?
Sophia. Is it Sophia?
That's right. We were going to do something with Sophia for a while back, but then communication and the bear cycle kicked in pretty hard, and it seemed like their plans changed somewhat. That's not off the table by any means, but we would need to refresh that. And honestly, like as a whole with partnerships, that used to be very, very, this is what you do in crypto. You get your white paper set up, you raise your funds with your private sale and public sale, you get a ton of partnerships lined up, and you get this community kind of credibility and endorsement by adding all of these partners. Well, partnerships are huge. They're invaluable. and at the same time, you have to be able to execute on what you're doing with them as well, and that's
Yeah.
the most important part. We've added new partnerships like Neo Tokyo and Superverse, which are obviously very gaming centric and crypto centric type of partnerships with huge following. So those partnerships are going to be important moving forward into the future. But the nature of who we work with and why is what's important. There can be just simply marketing partnerships as well. And we will continue to have partnerships, but I'm a little bit more selective now on what is the purpose. Okay, is it just marketing? Or, okay, if it's going to have operational, executional elements to it, we are incredibly challenged always. The team is just, we're slammed everywhere you go at Cornucopias. People are very busy, and so for me to go out and get a partnership and come back and go, okay, David, game team, programming team, we're going to have to do X, Y, and Z to execute on this. When do we think we can get that in? It's like, no, we got a game to build right now. So can we, if we can fit it in and it's reasonable and efficient and quick, then we might do it. It just depends. So a lot of those things started coming up as we were building and as we learned. And so we've learned a lot more at this point. We have to be careful who we add on. Needs to make sense. Well, we were careful in the beginning, but it's like
Yeah, we were
we're
very
more
cautious.
careful now.
Yeah,
Huh?
we're
Yeah.
very cautious. We didn't add that many.
Yeah. So Network, I think they're still around, although their management and ownership structure changed as well. Haven't talked to them in a bit. Veritree, they still get royalties from that tree sale, and so they're still planting trees in our name, basically, which is really cool. You guys all helped make a difference there, which is awesome. Tingo, no idea what's going on with them. I could follow up with them, but they kind of went dark. And I'm not speaking poorly of them. They went dark. Like people get busy, and I don't know what they're working on. Derp, of course, we love Derp. Always. I haven't talked to David in a while, but we need to catch up with those guys because they have also remained active. Chainport, we're still working with them on Bridge and multiple other things. QDOS, we had a catch-up call with them at one point.
Yeah,
but
we're testing the infrastructure for the nodes with them. So that's that was probably about 4 or 5 months ago. So we're still talking with them. The community seems to be sorting themselves out at the moment with that infrastructure. But we're definitely keeping in touch and seeing where they're up to.
Yeah, and kind of similar in nature to Iagon and what they're doing. And I'm a big fan of Iagon and the value they're bringing to the Cardano ecosystem. And we've talked to them in the past, but again, it just has to make sense for where we are at the current stage of development. Can we execute on something right now with anyone? That's always the big question. So, okay, that answers that. Hopefully that helps. And we will. One final thing I'll say on the partnerships is that when the game is at an alpha stage, which is not very far off, we will get significantly more aggressive on larger marketing partnerships, larger communities, ecosystems that have are gilded ecosystems or esports ecosystems, larger game review partnerships. Just there's so much ecosystem wise where you go and you make decisions based upon where you're at as a project, because right now it's a little early to go to certain things. But when we open the door to alpha and we have a really solid game with great content, partnership doors become really wide open for us and what we can do with larger community ecosystems, with a token, with rewards, with all sorts of stuff in Web 2 and Web 3. And so we will grow our community size and partnership sizes through the partnerships that we select to work with over the next year. And I think we'll make some great decisions on who that may be.
Yep.
We've already got a large esports community that we can work with tabled for a bit, but we need to get back with them.
The beauty of what we're doing, that whether we have hardware partners or software partners or marketing or wallets, there's lots that as a game we can do, and you'll see that in this current build with the stuff that we're doing with Snek and with Hosky. So those are good, fun things to look out for in this next build.
Completely agree. Okay. So yeah, Sneck, Husky. Yeah, good point. So, questions for you, Rob. This one's from Horsey. When will we be able to remap our keys on the keyboard?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I know Horsey is he's an old school MMO guy, and I myself do not like doing the old WASD. Lots of modern people do. I'm an old school. I prefer a joystick with a red button, but yeah, myself.
Atari 2600.
Yeah, I use a game controller, but I do play with keys because obviously I'm testing with keys. I find them uncomfortable as well. Maybe it's our age. I don't know, but you will be able to remap them in the future, but not currently in this build. I mean, I would say to Horsey, try a game controller. They are good. The last time I felt really comfortable with keys was when I was using QAOP space. That used to be the standard back in the 80s, not WASD. It's QAOP space. Now try and play that on the keyboard. They were very comfortable.
I assure you, he's tried it, but
yeah. It will come. It will definitely come. Hopefully before the end of the year. But we definitely hear you. And yeah, those quality of life things they tend to come as we get to the alpha release. Yeah. But at the moment, it is actually quite tricky. I have spoke to Mateus, and he's told me what's involved with him. So it's not quite straightforward. And we are obviously still putting new functionality in. So every time we put a new functionality in, then we have to go and look at the old systems and bring them up to speed as well. So that's kind of a system that's best thrown out right on the end.
Alrighty. Next question from Horsey. And our last question, will we be able to form groups in Cornucopias? And if so, what do you envision the maximum group size being?
Well, you have already formed groups because we know that there's guilds out there, and we also know there's groups of friends that play that are not part of guilds. So definitely you can create that. We have announced that we're working on some guild tools. So we have a plan for those. We're not currently actively working on those yet, but those will be coming. So we have a plan, and we'll obviously have a way of people creating groups, and then people can follow each other and be notified when their players are online and which server they're in, and then following them. So yeah, I groups is, I mean, it is so important when you're playing a multiplayer game to be part of and play with your friends and having all the voice things. But so yeah, it is very important. But we're just not quite. We don't quite have that yet. We've still got some more core functionality to have, even though that is core functionality.
Which kind of ties into some of his next questions. I don't know if you wanted to get into the type of loot system would be best to synergize with a game like Cornucopias. In my mind, it's more of a hybrid system. There's going to be multiple that are used, but I don't know if you want to answer that one or not. Classic loot.
We'll try them all. I mean, people will be doing raids together, so we'll have to decide what we're going to do with that. Is it winner takes all, or are we distributing it fairly? That you will know more in the next build. We'll have individual loots. You'll have. We've already seen now you can go and collect random loots that's lying around. So that will remain. We have these vending machines, so you can actually go and purchase your own stuff as well. It's not quite kind of loot, but it's kind of go and collect your own loot. We'll have crafting,
loot systems. Yeah,
we'll try them all. We will have them all in one way or another.
Alrighty. Well, I think that covers us. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for you guys for watching, and keep on the lookout. The build is coming soon. We're incredibly excited. A lot of fun stuff happening in our world, and we can't wait to share it with you. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow us, stay up to date. We got a lot of good stuff coming for the remainder of the year. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I'm in a game.